What's the weirdest story you've ever covered? I'm just thinking as you go over all these years of history, like what's the story that you're like, I cannot believe I'm covering
Probably Deflategate.
Yeah.
The football scenario is crazy. Now, here is something, I was really down on Brady for that. Everybody else was down on Goodell for giving the 4-game suspension. I had Fred Jackson on in that Super Bowl in Phoenix. Okay, that's when that was, when he beat Seattle, and he was still the talk of the town. Fred Jackson, running back of the Bills, on the radio said, Chris, he didn't say Chris. He said, let me tell you something. If anybody thinks a deflated football is not an advantage, you're crazy. It's much easier not to fumble with a deflated football than it is when it's deflated. And I took that to meaning that Brady got himself an undue advantage. If he would have handled that differently, it wouldn't have been a big deal. They would have given him a fine. That's the end of it. I think the Spygate thing made it difficult for the commissioner because of all the juice with the owners giving him grief that the Patriots got off scot-free. But that Deflategate thing on top of Spygate, Brady, Belichick, the Patriot organization, they always win. I thought that was the weirdest one we ever had to cover. That one was strange.
Yeah. Well, this Belichick story gets stranger by the day, too, so I'm going to add that to the list.
And Michael Strahan was not Mike Wallace on Friday on Good Morning America, I might add. Go ahead.
I missed it. I missed it. What happened?
Oh, God, you missed nothing. One of the most awkward interviews I've ever seen in my life. ABC, what ABC did there, ABC gave carte blanche to Belichick. Bill, we want you on. You tell us what questions you want to ask. And
you
that
can't
is a
do that. You can't do
horrific,
that.
100%. ABC was horrific. That essentially they sold their journalism chops to make sure Belichick, as he was in the news, was on the air. That was a horrific job by a worthy news organization. And then they put Strahan in a tough spot because we all know Strahan is, again, he's not Mike Wallace. He's an ex-football player. No knock against Strahan, but that's an impossible situation. One of his old coaching brethren, he's not going to put him on the spot. And if you're going to have Belichick on the air in that situation, you got to ask him about Malcolm Butler. You got to ask him about not Bob Kraft in your book. You got to ask him about how it ended with New England. You got to ask him why somehow he didn't get the Atlanta job 2 years ago. There's so many things you got to ask him, and they asked him nothing. It was oh my God, it was bad. Anyway, that was a strange one the other day.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.